Hey, 3D MJers, this is Coach Brad Loomis. A short while ago, I had to undergo surgery to repair bilateral inguinal hernias. That's when the visceral fat that's inside your abdomen starts protruding outside your abdomen, just above your pubic bone. I could not train for 4 weeks after the surgery, and for an additional 2 weeks, I could not train with anything greater than 20 pounds. It was painful and seemed ridiculous to be doing hundreds of reps with 20 pounds, but I could not wait to get rolling again. Now I'm starting back to what could be considered normal training, but it's still a fraction of what I could do. I don't care if it takes me 8 months or 8 years. I'll get back to where I was eventually, and hence why I'm calling this Rebuilding Brad. Hey there, 3D MJers. Welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Brad. Last day of the microcycle here. So essentially, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to kind of skip some weeks here. I've got it all on video, but what I'll probably do is I'll kind of fast forward from this week to another week, and that way we're not seeing like all that boring stuff that is essentially just me doing hundreds of banded back repetitions and less than glamorous loads being moved on the compounds. So we'll go ahead. We got the format now. We got the whole week of kind of how I do business, right? And from this point forward, I'll skip weeks, okay? And then I'll kind of probably even just pick off the highlights. So I'm not showing you boring footage of banded, rows to the point of failure with mile rep sets and cluster sets afterward, right? Kind of boring stuff. But that's training on my mind, kind of piggybacking, on my little rant last week on how bodybuilding is just in a slump right now. If I was king and I had control of my own organization and my own bodybuilding format, here's how I'd kind of do things. Now, I can't take full credit for this because my good friend Alberto Nunez had a lot of input into my brain as to how I kind of formatted this. But one of the best things about sporting events is who's winning. When you're at a football game, when you're at a basketball game, when you're watching racing, you've got a scoreboard there, and who's in the lead, who's second, who's third, who's fourth, right? It's one of the great things about sporting events is there's so much excitement because either your team's down and they're making a comeback or whatever, right? So if I was king of my organization, right, first of all, there would not be a prejudging and there wouldn't be a night show, okay? It's all done at one time. It's bigger for competitors too, because really it's hard to kind of peak twice, in a day, right? So yeah, it's all live judged right there. Everybody comes to one event. All the judges have electronic scores. So they've got 1 through 15 on an electronic scoreboard, right? And that little electronic little device that's got 1 through 15 is hooked to a scoreboard, a big scoreboard that the competitors can't see. So the scoreboard is kind of like out a little bit that the fans can see, but the competitors can't, right? And so when they come out for the first round, the symmetry round, right? They go through their first set of quarter turns. Nobody can put a score in yet until you complete the first set of quarter turns, right? Then the judges will make their changes, right? This competitor next to this competitor switch competitor. Then they go through another set of quarter turns. At that point there, judges can start putting their score in, right? Competitor this 1, competitor this 2, right? And it shows up on the scoreboard, right? And then you can kind of see, oh, well, right now, so-and-so is first, so-and-so is second, so-and-so is third, so-and-so doesn't have a score yet, so the bottom of them, they're kind of deciding still. And by the end of the symmetry round, it kind of gives you like a subtotal, right? Of, okay, competitor number 4, total votes 7. Competitor number 6, total votes 9. Okay, and it's got it ranked right there for you. Then rearrange them all back into the original order. Now we do the muscular round. And in the muscular round, essentially, you kind of score each pose, right? And then you get the total score at the end of the round. and it's all there, and there's a little keyboard right there for the judges, right? Wouldn't that be so freaking awesome? So everybody, they can do the front double bicep pose, rearrange, competitors into certain order that they want, hit the front double bicep pose again. Some scores can go in, right? Rearrange in another order, hit the front double biceps pose again. The rest of the scores go in. Got your subtotal clear. Go on to the next pose, front lat spread. Okay, I just think that would be awesome, and you can agree or disagree, but I think that would make the sport of bodybuilding so much better, and I think that the fans would buy into it more. And in almost any sport, it's the fans really that will drive the sport, and it would be awesome to see what would happen to competition if you had a lot of fans showing up and showing support, for their bodybuilder. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy the training clips for this week. See you next time.
Alrighty, gang. So as I mentioned, this particular session will end this week of training here, what I called Microcycle 3. And so on today's session, I completed these items here that I'm going to put in purple: leg extension, leg curl, incline dumbbell bench press, a lateral variation that basically I do a front raise with the hands supinated, and then lastly my band pull down for my back. And so as I wrap this up, you can kind of tell that basically with my whole body training, I hit every body part every single day, 4 days a week: legs, chest, delts, arms. The only one I didn't get on film was this triceps variation right here. And then of course with my back, I hit my back a lot, because if I ever am going to get on the bodybuilding stage again, in order to make my waist look smaller, I need to have really wide lats, really good V-taper. So as I mentioned at the beginning, the rest of this training that I have done since Microcycle 3, I'll probably skip over a lot of it and kind of hit the highlights, and then probably be a little bit less thorough and not show you every single exercise of every single week. And then also some of your questions that you may have asked in previous vlogs, perhaps your opinions on the state of bodybuilding that I touched on in my last vlog. We'll kind of touch on those, and hope that you enjoyed this. Hope there's going to be lots of good stuff to come. So thanks a lot, and till next time.
I've been doing it 3.5 years. I got started by going to one of the local shows in New Orleans, and kind of told myself that, that's something I would like to do, something I thought I would be good at. And a month later, I was in it.
Yeah, he says it's going on almost everywhere now. You got it here in the United States, you got it in Europe, but it started in Brazil about 75, 80 years ago, and he still feels that the Brazilians have the slight edge. Still a lot of the secrets.
I don't like football. It's a dangerous sport. I'm afraid you might get hurt one day. It's okay to play as an exercise.
Pop off that jack mark. Pop it. I'm used to being the best. I've always been the best at everything that I've done. And to have someone like Kane be able to do what he wants with me when we spar, it's frustrating.
He just storms out. That's okay to get mad, but you leaving like that is a disrespect to me, it's a disrespect to the team, it's a disrespect to yourself.
I realize everybody's telling me you have to be patient. You have all the talent. You're going to get there. But, I want it now.
The windows down on the floor. Yeah.